What's up, everybody? Giancarlo here, Three Swords Productions. Thanks for clicking on the video. Real quick, before we start, this is actually going to be a guide. This is me playing yellow against green. I know that a lot of people have been talking about how they struggle with Broly, and I ended up playing 4 Brolys in a row on the ladder. So I think, and I beat all 4 of them. And so I wanted to point out, hey, these are strategies that you can use to beat Broly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at these videos while I narrate. Again, this is me playing. It's not like a coaching video. This is a beating green as yellow guide, and of course I was playing Frieza, which I personally, this might be my hot take, I think Frieza is the best yellow deck. I do think it's definitely better than Cooler and Ginyu. That might be my hot take. I still think Cooler is very, very strong. Ginyu I'm not too big of a fan of, but hey, it doesn't matter, right? So we're going to go ahead and hop in. If you guys check out the description, there will be a link to our Discord where you can submit your replays for coaching, as well as just a Discord for general group chatting and all that fun stuff. So we'll go ahead and hop right into the first game. All right, and we are in there. Okay, so first things first. I kept this hand because I have double Zarbon going second. Oh, maybe I should hit play. I have double Zarbon going second, which means I can just pop Zarbon. I want to awaken as quick as possible to start finding better outs to the Broly. And we have a Cooler. Again, great out. We'll go ahead and speed through these first few turns. The deck plays 16 Self-Awakeners, so I can actually post. I should have posted the deck. I'll have a deck list in the description, as well as I'll post a picture real quick. But anyway, there's 16 Self-Awakeners, so we want to maximize that, and we have our Frieza. And notice how I go ahead and charge the Ginyu SR. I know that this card is just not good against Broly. I'm going to throw it away every time. Same thing with Raccoon. I know I end up charging Raccoon the next turn, I think. And double Frieza is insane, right? So, again, we want to maximize our Awaken. We want to heavily prioritize that. And we want to control our opponent's Awaken. So we really don't want to put our opponent to 4 life too quickly. 5 life is a little bit of a danger zone, but we have to do that here in order to go ahead and rest this Nappa, and then we're gonna just throw everything into the Nappa to get as much value as possible. We're in a great position here. We have double our opponent's hand size, and we have board control right now. So obviously against green that changes because we win the early game and then green tries to win the late game, but we end up having a lot more. And we're going to play Frog here. Any game where Frog survives multiple turns is probably a game where you're winning. The value that this card generates is absolutely insane. So we want to prioritize establishing the Frog here because at 5 energy, he really can't do anything to clear it, you know? Let's speed it up a little bit. Man, yeah, and see how I'm throwing away the Ginyu package because they're 5Ks and we know that they just do nothing against Broly. Here with this 4 energy, I mean, I have Cooler, I have Supernova, I have double Frieza, double Cooler. I'm more than set up to win this game. I just have to do it. And, we're going to see, I don't even attack here because there's no good targets to attack. I do not want to awaken my opponent. And here we're going to go after. One thing I noticed I should have done? I should have just blocked that leader attack with Cooler to just go ahead and kill this blocker. I should have just done that for free. And I guess I just didn't do that, but that's okay. That's actually a little inefficient on my part. And here we're just going to keep pressuring. Yeah, we're just going to keep pressuring the Broly. We really don't need to do anything crazy. And again, see, we're just controlling our opponent's board, controlling the Awaken. We have multiple answers to Broly if necessary. And again, I should have just... I mean, I guess I didn't have to block there because he had, the energy to play cards, but... So now we are blocking with Cooler to rest his 6-drop. Now, when we play Frieza, we can lock this 6-drop down. And of course we're going to protect our Cooler. Cooler is an insane card. And, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, we're gonna swing 30Ks into this Turles because he has so few cards in hand. The more he tries to defend, the worse off he is. Yep, and now we can just slam our Frieza. And I'm not even gonna combo in here. If he has 3 cards in hand, if he wants to just not, if he wants to not take that, you cannot take it. Because we have so many more cards in hand than our opponent, you know, it's easy for us to just dump in. You know, we can discard cards and still have double what our opponent has. And what's important to notice is that he was at 5 life, and I put him to 3 with a double striker. That means he awakens to 2, and that means, you know, obviously at 2 life you're just much closer to death than you would be at 3 life. So this, you know, again, not trying to just toot my own horn or whatever, but this is a great example of controlling your opponent's awaken. And I end up, you know, we save these supernovas. There's no reason to go too crazy. Going down to 1, I mean, I got the Turleses, I got Friezas, I got Supernovas, I got Coolers. It doesn't matter. And here, Cooler has an amazing interaction with Broly, where Broly ends up untapping, and then you block with Cooler, and it taps Broly, so it only gets 1 attack, and then we just super combo out. You can go after this Cooler all you want. I'm really never going to let it die. And now we got Supernovas, Friezas. We got, you know, just insane board control. And we're going to charge there in order to double Supernova plus Frieza. And looks like, yeah, we're just going to go in on the leader here. If this doesn't work, we got plenty of backup plans. So, yeah. And I like to win with the animation. That might be a little silly, but I like to win with that. So, again, great example of just controlling your opponent's awaken. If you spend the entire early game focusing on your opponent's board, by the time that they awaken, that one Broly just didn't have any impact at all. So, I think, you know, great example of controlling the opponent's awaken and going for board first. And again, we threw away all the Ginyu cards because they are not meant for this matchup. They are meant for most other matchups. So, we were able to pivot from full aggro to like a mid-range strategy. So, we'll go to the next game. All right. Now, let's take a peek at this hand here. We kept it again. We have the double self-awakener, which is what you always want to see with Frieza. And we have the Cooler, which, again, is just good against every deck, really. I mean, I think Cooler is pretty snapped. And we got the knees, too. So now we have the triple self-awakener. The awaken is all but guaranteed. Him comboing off this 5K here, I think that's kind of reasonable. I mean, you can assume against yellow it's going to get rested in some way. So you might as well get value. You might as well get value when you can. And, yep, let's go ahead and speed it up. First few turns, not much to talk about. We got a Frieza. That's a good pickup. And a crit. And I'm just going to take this. Hey, I'm taking this every time, bro. I don't care. I get to awaken next turn and pressure a battle card. That's insane. So we establish our Frieza. Take the life. And then we're just going to put him to 7. Again, we don't want to deal too much damage in the early game. And we just leave him at 7. Again, I don't want to... The reason... You could put him at 6 there, but really the reason you do that is there's a chance that he doesn't have destructive strength. And if we give him that life, it might be destructive strength. So I wouldn't say it's not wrong to put him to 6 there, but at the same time, you are giving him an extra card to play with, and he had destructive strength anyway, right? But you know, we don't know what's in our opponent's hand until long strength. Charging a super combo there, not good for him. And our hand is looking fine. We have a decent enough hand. We have Cooler. Supernova is about to get a ton of value. Just play that birder out. And again, now we're just developing our board. Turles. Turles isn't nothing. I mean, Turles is a good card for sure. But I don't like taking crits. Again, against green, never go to 3. When you're at 3 life, the chance of losing the game skyrockets, so. Yeah, he meteors out here, which, okay, so I remember this pretty well now. So once I see him, he meteors and then super combos. Normally, I would not go this hard into this Turles because it's kind of neg, but he super combos out here, so it's 30 to 30, which means he only has to discard a 5k. The fact that he meteored and then super comboed out, in my mind, just he has no 5k counters in his hand, so now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in on this cooler because on this Turles because he has like no 5Ks. There's no way he wouldn't just discard 5Ks here, and we ended up getting it. So even though this is something you can consider when you pivot, like bro, once he meteored, and I was like, oh, that's weird. He didn't just want to discard 5K there. Okay, swing lead, combo the little dude on board, and then he super combos, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't have any 5Ks in hand. Okay, I'm gonna go in on this Turles. So just something you can notice, based on the way your opponent counters. It's something you can something you can decide to do. And this is a little mistake by him. He swings. Again, now I do the thing where I cooler and pop the blocker. So definitely remember, cooler has an effect. It's on block and on attack. Now, I wondered if I awaken him here. I don't think I do, but... Okay, so drawing this does. So here's the thing. I don't really want to wait anymore because our opponent is already at 8 energy. So I don't really want to wait anymore. I have cooler, and the fact that I drew the big chunk as Frieza just means I actually get to pressure on his backside now. So I think you want to control your opponent's awaken, and going from 5 to 3 with Frieza is amazing. But at the same time, if you don't have a 5-drop Frieza, you just kind of have to pick when you go in. And I think the fact that I have the double Supernova and the 2 4-drops is enough to go in against this Broly here. Also, he only has 4 cards in hand, so even if I decide to combo in, the pressure is pretty crazy. Brother-sister combo, that's definitely a great way to get out of this. Yeah, and with 4 cards in hand, we're not really too worried. Of course, Broly is good. He ends up going after the Frieza. I think I would pop the cooler there, to be honest. But I don't know. The Frieza's a little more scary. Huge misplay by him. I know this. It's a guide, right? But it's a misplay. Don't play a battle card and then attack with your leader when I have cooler. You got no value off that Broly. And then I just protect the cooler. And, this turn I just get to go in with these Supernovas, so... Oh, hey, Frog drew another cooler, so we're in there. And he goes down to 1. So at this point, I think he just scooped, right? Like, I don't know. I'm like, dang, he just took a 30k. I think he's just scooping. We'll leave it at 50. No, I guess he didn't scoop, but he didn't have any counter power, so... And that was it. Easy game. So again, focus on the board. Don't turbo awaken your opponent. And when the time comes, hit the aggro pivot. If you don't have Frieza, you don't want to wait too long. But sometimes it's okay to wait for Frieza. Alright, we'll hit the 3rd game now. Man, it was so funny. I was on ladder, and I literally got 4 Brolys in a row. And I was just like, man... Where are the Gohans at? I want the Gohans. I got the Brolys. Okay, again, this is very standard Frieza play. Again, we play 16 Self-Awakener. So, oftentimes, if I'm going to go second, you're going to keep a hand where you want to Snap Awaken. So, I have double Self-Awakener in the hand. Very common Frieza play. Charging Birder. We don't really need Birder. Another Self-Awakener. So again, our Awaken is pretty much guaranteed at this point. Him blocking again. I'm not mad at this. We can assume that Frieza is going to rest all our little dudes. So we want to get value out of them while we still can. And we got a cooler. See? We play the full... I don't think we play a full Ginyu package, right? We play 4 Raccoon, 4 SR, 4 Birder, right? That's 12 Ginyus. That's... We have the aggro pivot, but we can also pivot into the mid-range deck with the big Frieza, with the cooler, with 5-drop Frieza. Cards like Supernova are insane, whether they're aggro or mid-range. I mean, Supernova is just a crazy card. Cooler, also super strong card. So let's just, we're going to do standard fare. Charge Raccoon. See, we don't need Raccoon. Oh, had to get a yawn out there. I've been sleeping pretty terribly all week. I don't know why, but there we go. We're at 5. We have knees. We have Frieza. We can just do whatever we want. And we got a Goku. And there we go. And we're awakened. So now, and we have another cooler. It just keeps getting better. You know. We can go ahead and establish our 2-drop Frieza here. We can establish our Frog. I will say this is pretty, I would say this is pretty much perfect. I couldn't imagine a better opening for Frieza. We have we have an amazing early game, and we have an insane mid game. So, you know, this is pretty much the best we could hope for with Frieza draw. And he's actually, I mean, comboing out here. You know, and I go into the Goku with the Frieza. I get to draw a card. 1-drop Frieza's cool. Let's speed it up a little bit. We can speed it up a little bit. I know we're going to establish Frog, of course. Why would I not? I love Frog. Again, any game where Frog is surviving multiple turns, you're probably winning the game. So being able to awaken like this early and have a Frog out on 3, like, I mean, what? Green doesn't play I-beams, right? That's not a real card. So on 3 energy, there's no way they're killing this Frog, and you get so much value out of it. I've had games where Frog has drawn 4 cards, and it's just like, against Broly, playing this early is nuts, because obviously they have their android's turn where they get to clean it for free, but that's still 2 turns away, so it's like, minimum I'm getting 2 cards off of this Frog. It's insane. And those additional cards allow me to swing up into the Broly, which is one of the reasons I think Frieza is so much better than the other yellow decks, because, you know, I have, whatever options. And we're going to put him at 5 here. I think this is correct. Again, I don't want to wait too long for Frieza if I don't have a Frieza. And when I say Frieza, I should say 5-drop. If I don't have a 5-drop Frieza, you know, I can't wait too long. But you know, obviously I want to try to draw into a 5-drop Frieza. Strengthen it up and pass him with 3 up. Zarbon, don't really need that. We can Frog. And again, yeah. Oh, okay, we drew it a little late there. No problem. What are you going to do? So again, you don't want to wait too long. You know, the reason he was on 6, which means like he's getting an android turn. I want to kind of start getting value out of my cards now before androids becomes super relevant. And now that I have 5-drop Frieza later, I'm just going to save it for when he Broly's or something, which could be next turn. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get our Supernova in. And we got 2, hey, we got 2 meteors out of his hand. That is a lot of counter power. And again, because of Frog, we are so up on cards. We are 11-6. That's basically double what our opponent has. So I'm okay with just countering into these things. You know, and again, I untap my 2 power bodies. If he Broly's right on time, kills Cooler. I do agree. I think Cooler is correct to kill there. And then he goes after my blockers, which I don't particularly think is correct. Please continue to attack my blockers. That is fine with me. They basically just blocked it. They basically blocked. Going after Frieza here, this is fine. And Frog survives. Let's go, baby. Frog survives. Yep. And he's tapped out. I don't think I dump here. I just think I leave it at... Yeah. Oh, never mind. I dump here. Okay, yeah. He's tapped out. He's tapped out. He can't kill me. I'm at 4 life. That's it. The game's over. There we go. Easy game, bro. Easy game. And that is exactly how you want to deal with green. You want to control their awaken. You want to control the board early game, and you want to slam 4-drops. So, again, decks like Ginyu and Cooler have this problem because cards like 4-drop Cooler, 4-drop Frieza, they're a little bit less valuable in those decks because of the way they interact. And certain cards like Frog are so much more valuable in Frieza. And then, again, you just untap your battle cards so they're pretty safe. Let's go ahead and, I guess I'll show the deck list real quick. All right, so the deck list is 4 Frog. This is like one of my favorite cards. I absolutely love this card. I guess let me move my big head so you can see a little better. 4 Sorbet, just normal 1-drop. 1-drop Frieza, insane value card. Rest anything, 10k counter. We have the full Ginyu package. 4 Super Ginyu, 4 Raccoon, and 4 Birder. This is when you're not playing against Broly. You have your turn 4 Super Pivot into your Hyper Aggro. We have Knees, Zarbon, and Frieza as your Self-Awakeners. And again, Raccoon also Self-Awakeners. Total of 16. 3 Cooler. We got 1 SR, 1 SPR, 2 Regular. I do love this artwork. I think this artwork is crazy cool. You know, I think this card is insanely valuable. It's one of the best cards in the first set for sure. One of the best, Yellow's best cards. 2 of the big Chungus Frieza. This card is solid. Again, it attacks into Broly really well, but overall you don't get a ton of value from it. But in the late game, you throw down a Frieza plus a Supernova, and you're probably winning the game at that point. Double SR Frieza. Again, we want to keep our counter power pretty high. You could consider cutting a Birder for a 3rd Frieza. I've considered that a lot. Chilai super combos we're playing 4 Supernova. Again, you could cut 1 Supernova for a Frieza if you wanted. I wouldn't be mad at that. This card is absolutely insane. Again, we know Broly exists. We have to play cards that reach Broly, right? So we're playing Supernova, we're playing Cooler, we're playing 4-drop, we're playing 5-drop. All of these cards help you reach Broly, right? Again, we saw there, if we can establish an early Frog against Broly, we are getting like perpetual value. We call it a value engine. We have our value engine established, which means every turn we can continue to combo into Broly. Whereas you look at a deck like Cooler, you look at a deck like Ginyu, you flood the board and then you lose those resources. So as the longer Frog survives, the better your deck is. And then 1 Golden Death Ball for aggro / Frost. Of course, we against non-Broly decks, we have the 20k spam. So if our opponent does get a Frost, that can be a little annoying. So we have to just play 1 answer. And against decks in general, right, they might just be an annoying body. You know, green has green trunks, blue has whatever. Every deck just has a card in rest mode, and it might fill your curve out to pop it once. No big deal. Really, my favorite card in the deck is Frog. Again, I cannot talk about this card any better, right? So anyway, this is the Frieza deck we used. I'm not saying it like auto beats Broly or it auto wins. No, it is a great deck in my opinion. And as you can see, if you play your cards right, the matchup is not unwinnable. I see a ton of green decks, a ton of Broly just bullying yellow decks, and it's like, well, here's what we can do to mitigate that a little bit. Some of your weaker matchups would be red. I think red is really strong against this deck. The removal aspect, as well as cards like 5-drop Beerus, 3-drop Goku that just clears 20Ks. They end up getting a lot of free value off of you while attacking. So red could definitely be a little bit of a tough matchup. And this is Frieza. Everyone, thanks for watching. Please check out the Discord. We'll have this deck, as well as I'll post the deck code in the Discord. You can check that out in the description. And thanks for the support. And we're going to keep chugging along with these videos.